afternoon. This is the knitting news from Knit Happens Teesside for Thursday the 4th of July 2019. Well, we did go to Woolfest. We had quite a successful expedition and we did purchase quite a bit of luxurious yarn between us. And a good day was had by all, except it was a little bit too warm and humid. But we managed, apart from the odd mind blank, you know, with the heat and that. So, yesterday at knitting, Maggie was working on... Oh, well, she had 2 projects with her. I'll stop waiting. I'll tell you about that later. Oh, I'll tell you about this now. Right. This is Blueface Leicester, and I've bought enough to make a cardigan from Woolfest. This was just irresistibly, deliciously multicoloured. And it's silk from the threshing barn. And this is from La Mamie wool. And it is 100% Blueface Leicester sheep. Well, sheep's wool. This is a little bit sparkly. You can see that properly. This is silk merino, these two, and the one in the middle is kid silk, which is kid mohair and silk. And this is going to be Birds of a Feather by Andrea Mowry. And the last one is these 2 skeins that are going to be a brioche shawl. And I don't know... Oh, a Biscot, which is a French company. And this is Ripples Crafts. And I particularly like this one. So that's what I've bought. But I haven't started any of them yet. Right. So last night, Maggie had her Marie Wallin cardigan that is going to be steeked with the bunny rabbits on, all complete. There isn't any bunny rabbits with bottoms missing. And she has finished the bunny part, that bunny row, and is on to the next section. But she did have a little sneaky go of a dye gilpin sweater that she bought at Woolfest, which is just gorgeous. It's dye gilpin's own lamb's wool called La Land, and it's very soft. And it was 2 plies. The colour that she'd chosen was a ply of, I think, a grey and then like a mustardy colour. So the grey sort of made the mustard calmer. And it's beautiful. Andrea has started on her boxy sweater by Cocky Locatelli, I think is how you say it. So she's doing a rib on circular needle, and her yarn is, I think it was called Sid, the colourway. It's sort of a pinky, beigey, stony, sort of a pale, warm, creamish, indescribable sort of colour that Maggie described as a cow's first milk that the calf really needs. So like the equivalent of our colostrum. Which was kind of like not very an appetising description for yarn. Anyway, the colour's lovely. And so I'm sure that will be the sweater. So she was rather inspired at Woolfest. And she ran off and bought a couple of things. She did like shoot off claiming inspiration. And one of the kits that she bought was she bought 2 big bags of lots of different colours. Quite small little yarn cakes of lots of different colours. And she casted that onto a circular needle. And she's doing some stripes, 2 fronts at the same time. But she had so many tails hanging off her work. Petrina thought she looks a little bit like a puppeteer. We thought there'd be a little puppet under the table somewhere. There's all these lines hanging off. But yeah, I'm interested to see how that works out. That did look very interesting. Ooh, I forgot today. This is black coffee, black cinder toffee coffee. That's a change, isn't it? In my Lottie mug. Oh, it's quite easy to slurp with a mug. So, Petrina, well, she was working on some beautiful socks that were very, very neat. Her socks are very neat. Her knitting's very neat. That were a self-striping yarn in sort of purple and white and shades in between. But that was because she was enjoying doing them. And the sleeve that she did finish and tried to sew into the cardigan, the crocheted sleeve. Well, she'd been doing her amigurumi before, and when you do that, it has to be really tight so that the stuffing doesn't show or come out. So I think her tension had remained a little bit tight, and the sleeves tension was a little bit tighter than the cardigan tension. So that wasn't great. So she's having to do it again, but you know, you need a little bit of a break, don't you, when these things happen. I am now doing the the edge of my shawl, but rather than casting off and making a tightish edge, it is recommended to knit the edge, the border, onto the shawl, which I mentioned last week. Well, I had a little go and it went all peculiar because part of the pattern was written one way and part of the pattern was written the other way. But now I do know what I'm doing and what I'd prefer to do, and it's going quite well. So there's about 17 stitches, which isn't a lot, but it's a long way round. And for every 8 rows, I'm only attaching to 4 stitches. So I have no idea whatsoever how long it's going to take me. But I do still like it, and I've been very good and not started any of my other projects, especially my new ones. But what it has done is given me time to look around for patterns, so that's good, isn't it? I do think that's just about it. And I was a little worried about yesterday being a little bit too warm like last week. And I'd even considered putting my deck chairs in the boot just in case. But then I thought, no, that's a bit extreme, and maybe we could just move to in between the two air conditioning units and keep cool. So that's the plan for next time it's too hot. So this is, is it Knit House Cafe Midori? This is Ranunculus, which is knitted from the top down with some short row shaping at the back. And this is just one Zower ball, but I can't remember which one because they do quite a lot of different ones. But there was enough to make a sort of a croppy sweater. So I'm pleased with this. More news, maybe next week.